Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I'd like to show you how I made this. This is the second in my designs for the Christmas season. And this is using a couple of different items that are in the catalog that are not new actually. They've been around since last year. And this is my rather beat up sample. This went through a class the other day, and so somebody managed to open the red stamp pad and get it pushed in there, so it's got some little bits and pieces here that aren't right, but we'll make a fresh new one together. And on the inside I have a saying and a little strip of foil and some rhinestones. And so let me show you what you need to make this card. We need a base of real red, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then we need 3 pieces of the red foil paper. This larger piece measures 4 by 4, and this piece measures 3 3/4 by 1 1/4. And then we need a piece for the inside decoration that measures 1/2 by 3 3/4. So those are the red pieces that we need to make this card. Then we need 2 pieces of Whisper White that measure 4 by 5 1/4. Then we need an additional piece of white that measures 1 by 3 1/2. And then we need a very small piece of Blushing Bride, and this piece measures 1 by 1 5/8. So let's just get started. Let me tell you what I'm using to make this. This is the detailed Santa Thinlet that's in the catalog, and there is the impression of Santa with his pretty rolling beard here. And this little cutout here at the bottom I used on the greeting part here. And so those are the dies that I used for this. For the sentiments, I used 2 different ones. I used from the Star of Light, I used this pretty Merry Christmas, and I'll show it to you here. It's just a really pretty font, and I love the look of this one. And then from Christmas Pines, I found this little saying, "May the simple joys of the season be yours." And so I like that one because, again, nice and simple, and I used that on the inside of the card. So those are the stamp sets that I used. So let's just go ahead and get started. This is actually a pretty fast card once you get your pieces cut out. So, and to save a little time, as normal, I have done my die cutting. And on this one, what I found was that the die cut out pretty easily if you use the precision base plate. And if you use the magnetic plate, I found that I needed to use a piece of wax paper to cut this out. This little die cut out beautifully no matter where I put it. So that's our cutout there. So the first thing we're going to do, while I have the Santa here, I'm going to put him on a little piece of scratch paper here, and I have, this is probably retired now. This is called a Stampin' Dazzle, and it's a gold marker that was a Stampin' Up! Gold marker, but any gold marker, Sharpie will do anything. And while I don't have to be too precise, I am going to color in his glasses straight away on the die cut. And I'm going to go around the face of the glass piece, the glasses piece here, and get that covered. And I found that on this, I like the idea of taking a little piece of scratch paper and sticking it underneath so I didn't get the other parts of the die marked up with a gold marker, because one of the things I wanted to do was go on the outsides of the glass rims because I didn't want any of the white to show, and this allows me to color both inside and outside and kind of all around the edges of this die cut here. And so remove that and then put it back as I see another spot or two that I missed here. I'm missing a piece up here and missing a piece right down here. And so there I have covered his little glasses so that there's pretty much no white showing any place on there. Then I flipped him over and I put a little bit of snail along his hat, his cheeks on the outside here, and his mustache. So if I put a little bit of snail along those places, and I'm just going to sort of just get a little bit of a dab in there, all the way around that. Then I'm going to take this Blushing Bride piece because I wanted him to have pink cheeks. So this piece, if you put the glue on the back of those things, and then you can manipulate it from the front so that you get complete coverage of his face. And I wanted particularly to leave his mouth uncovered because I thought that might be more fun with the red showing through to offer a little contrast. So once I've got that little piece of Blushing Bride on there, then I took my chalk marker, because I don't want Santa to have red eyes. I don't want people worrying about what he did last night. So I colored in with my chalk marker to get the eye portion of the Santa glasses white again. So, and I just kind of dotted that in there. You don't want to scrape back and forth too much because it starts to affect the paper. It gets too wet. So there I have my Santa with more white eyes. And then I'll show you later what I did was I used in the new catalog coming out that's live September 1st, which you're on their way to you if you're on my mailing list, and probably to many of you out there. We have black rhinestones. And so I used black rhinestones to make his eyes and give it a little bit of dimension. So we'll put those in a little bit later. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my Santa over, and I'm going to put some adhesive, and I'm just going to use snail all along the edges here of his of the die cut here. And then I am going to use a little bit of Tombow on the back of this Blushing Bride piece, and then just dot some around here to hold the various pieces of the beard down on the foil paper. And his little hat has a tendency to fly, so getting a few little dots down on that is probably beneficial. And anything that is one of these swirls in the beard that's kind of like this one that might lift up, or this one, or this one, I put some glue on those. Oops, I got a little too much on there. I got a little bit of glue on those because I wanted them anchored so they wouldn't be flying around. And so when I get a little bit of glue on all of those, and I'm happy with it. Then what I'm going to do is take my my red foil piece here, and I'm going to lay it down from the back so that I can see what I'm doing. And since these are both 4 inches, I want to get this on here exactly flush along both ends of this. And I can tell already that my cutting wasn't perfect, so I'm going to have a little red rim showing on this end. And so I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to angle them a little bit, and I'm going to go right down this edge and snip off that red foil that is showing through. There we go. Now that is a perfect fit. So there we have our Santa now. Looks like I didn't get glue on this little one here, so let me see what I can do. For now, I think I'm just going to put a little bit of snail on the back of it, because that's a way for me to do it while I'm filming here. Okay, so there he goes, and we have him stuck down to the red foil. Now then, I'm going to take this piece of red foil and this piece that I've already done my stamping on here, and I'm going to bring back, let's see, my scratch paper and my sentiment here, and I'm using real red ink. So I've got my ink here, and okay, so I'm going to ink up my stamp here and try to get this, do one sample one there, make sure that I've got it properly inked up. Yep, okay. Okay, now I'm going to try and get this piece centered on this little piece of white. And there we have a very nice Merry Christmas. And then what I'm going to do is to take this piece and add a little snail to the back here, and some right along this little edge here. And I'm going to center that on this piece of foil. There we go. And then I'm going to raise this piece of foil up on dimensionals. Okay, there we go. So we have our raised sentiment here now that says Merry Christmas. Now on the inside is where I'm going to put this, may the simple joys of the season be yours, and I'm going to put it at an angle over on this side here. There we go. And then I'm going to add some rhinestone detail over here, and this little piece here of foil I'm going to add to the bottom of the card, just to carry the, it looks like I better use Tombow on that, just to carry the theme of the foil paper over to the inside. Sometimes snail doesn't want to stick to the plastic backing on this foil material. So I'm just going to center this one right down here, leaving a margin kind of all the way around. And now we're ready to put this card together. So here's my card base, and I've got my Santa here, and I'm going to add some snail here to the back of my card and get that set on this, centered on this card front here. There we go. And then get this one set on the inside of the card. And then we're ready for the little embellishments that will complete this card. There we go. And so the thing I have left to do with this one is the rhinestones. And so here is the package of black rhinestones that you'll find in the new catalog. Aren't those great? I think that there's a lot we can do. There's another item that's coming out in the new catalog, and it's a punch that is a cat. And I thought it would just be spectacular having some of these really fun black rhinestones in for eyes. In any case, I love bling, and this makes this a little extra special. So I'm going to give Santa some eyes here on the card, and I'm going to take a couple of the largest of the rhinestones. This is the configuration of the new rhinestone packages that will be coming out. I still have a lot of the other ones to use up, so it'll be a while before I get those. I added a rhinestone to the end of his hat, one of the largest ones. Then I added one kind of up in this corner and another one right down here. Then I put one on either side of my Merry Christmas here. I just thought it made it look a little bit more complete. And then on the inside, I also added 3 rhinestones here. And I suppose I could have made them smaller, but I kind of like these big ones. So there we go. And there's still plenty of room if you want to write a personal note inside. And like I said, once you have everything cut, this one is a very fast card, and I think it's just lots of fun. Now you could further dress this up if you chose to by die cutting this out of dazzling diamonds if you wanted to make it even more sparkly. You could also use Wink of Stella on his beard and his hat, and some of these pieces down here. There's a lot of things that you could do to continue to make it a little bit more blingy. But that is my project for the day. And here's my poor beat up one, and I'll just put right here for the time being. And you can purchase everything that you see here. And actually, the only thing from the new catalog on this particular one are the black rhinestones. So this is available to order out of the catalog right now, just on the stuff that's left from last year. And you can order on my website, www.lbettinger.stampinup.net. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. People who order with me get a card at the end of the month and a product gift or a handmade gift from me. And or you could join my team. The details are below always about what the offers are, both from Stampin' Up, and then I add some to the offer for joining my team. And my telephone number is below there. If you want to chat about it, give me a call or make an inquiry on my Stampin' Up site. And that's it. Second Christmas card of the season. I feel like I'm kind of off and running. And thanks again so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. I do truly appreciate it. And until next time then, with more projects and more cards, bye.